Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another fantastic episode of Gamestack Podcast, right here on We Just Love Games Network. This is episode 114, about damn time. I thought this was an appropriate title, seeing as how I haven't seen you guys for like 2 weeks. How you doing, Rick?
I'm good. I'm good. Tired, but good.
Your beard has come in very nicely. It is your full Bushman almost.
Yeah, I've been keeping it trim, using some balm and stuff. Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah,
Sarah
I
likes
like it.
I like it.
I like it.
The background doesn't seem to enjoy it amongst the chair.
Oh,
I really want
to. Parts of your face just kind of disappears.
I'm so sick of this blurry background, but I don't. Should I just go full basement?
I don't care. I think it would
basement.
add.
I'm gonna go.
I mean, honestly, if anything, it's going to add to the show.
That's true.
You can't take any more away from the show.
I'm done with this filter crap. There it is.
Oh, that's so
basement.
good. It's actually so good. It's almost like you put a fake background there. I love it. Actually, there's so much potential. Oh, man.
There's so much stuff back here.
I got a little bit of buzzing going on here when I speak. That's no fun.
Are you sure that's not the wine?
No, I think it might be my headphones that are like 7 years old.
Yeah.
That I've had fixed once already because I love them so much.
Yeah, I don't hear anything. Buzzy.
Well, welcome in. Happy Friday. If you are coming in, make yourself comfortable. Grab a chair and a snack and a beverage. You've got Rick and I tonight. And Shalene will be in late. She had a little bit of car trouble earlier today, so we're going to try to steer this ship without her for the foreseeable future of tonight's show. But before we get in, don't forget the show is sponsored by Oak and Crow Coffee. If you head on over to oakandcrow.com, you can pick up a bag of We Just Love Coffee blend. $2 from every bag goes to the Children's Miracle Network. Yes, so check that out. Also, another announcement that we have to make is about St. Jude's Play Live 2022.
Yes.
Don't forget that begins April 28th at 4 p.m. to 6:30 p.m. Pacific Standard, 6:30 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. Central Standard. And that goes towards supporting a campaign that for St. Jude's Children's Research Hospital. If you would like to create a campaign, you can do so as well. All funds raised between now and the end of May count towards the Play Live fundraising goal. Sailing for charity is Hardware's team. Hardware's Fleet for Kids 2022, and some of you may already know who Hardware Guy is. He's the gentleman that we play Sea of Thieves with. And you can head on over to Hardware's Fleet for Kids 2022 on Tiltify. If you would like to make a donation there, you can just search Hardware's Fleets for Kids. And he says, once again, I'm continuing my voyage to unite all the Sea of Thieves community members and content creators under one team to help support the kids. This year, St. Jude is offering donation incentives when setting up your campaign. Be sure to activate them, and anyone who donates $60 to your campaign will receive a St. Jude's 60th anniversary sticker collection. Ooh. And this team is open for everyone to create a supporting campaign. There's no requirement to stream or to stream Sea of Thieves exclusively. If you create a campaign, you'll be sent an invite to the sailing for the charity team. But he says that we would also love to have you join us. And if you have any questions, you can always just message Hardware. He did send me, first of all, let's see the Tiltify link. So he's up to $450.69 out of his $1,000 goal. So if you guys are interested in donating, you can follow the link. I'm posting it in the chat for the live stream right now. But also, he sent me some pictures of some cool loot that he got based on the donations. So he got this box. I don't know if you can see this, Rick. It says play for more than bragging rights. And then it says join us for the St. Jude Play Live Summit 2022, Thursday, April 28th, blah, 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 blah. Twitch.tv/St. Jude Play Live if you want to check that out on the 28th. And inside, he unpacked this box for me. And inside, he had all this cool stuff. So he's got, like, for our audio listeners, he's got, his goal is 1,000. There's a little sign, and then he's got, like, looks like some sort of wood-burned coaster. And then there's Bean Boozled. There is those weird snack chopsticks that you can eat stuff with one hand. Have you seen those?
No.
There's
what is
Snacktiv. They're super cool. You can like eat snacks while you're like working without getting your Cheeto fingers all over your keyboard.
That's important. Yes.
Googly eyes. I think there's a chicken hat there, and I'm not sure what these unicorns are. I think they might be puppets.
Hand puppets.
Yeah.
Hand puppets.
Yeah.
Hand puppers.
And then it looks like some sort of rubber silicone pad for placing your controller on.
No, that is a poppet. Like they're fidget poppets. Like instead of popping bubble wrap, those little bubbles there, they pop to the other side.
Oh,
and flip it over
wow. I feel
my kid's
old.
obsessed with those.
I feel
my kid
old.
is obsessed with those. Yeah.
That's fun. Okay.
I mean, if you like popping bubble wrap, then maybe poppet rubber thingies are for you.
Right. Okay. So that's Hardware's Fleets for Kids. So if you're interested, check that out. If some of you are interested in sailing next Saturday, send me a personal message. We will be setting up a community takeover. Keep an eye out for that. So yes, if you're coming in, host us on Twitch. Tell your friends about the show. Come say hi. We'd love to have you in the chat. And speaking of people that we'd love to have in the chat, we also have some new people who came into the Discord this week.
Oh.
Rick, who do we have in the Discord?
Yeah, so Sound Freak is actually my coworker for my new job. He's a good dude. Yeah, he's a very good dude. And
I thought that there was some sort of like audiophile-ness going on in that username.
Yes,
yeah,
yeah.
It fits.
It's also his artist name too. So that's
cool.
Everything on Spotify.
So if you want to check out his content, nice.
Yeah, it's good. It's good stuff. And also I'm Peter Kim, not me, but the person who joined.
You know, when I first read that, I thought it was Impeter Kim.
Impeter Kim.
And then I was like, actually, logically, I'm Peter Kim. I'm just stupid. So there we are.
Well, that's all to the new folks to the Discord. And if you would like to join our Discord, I'm out of practice. If you would like to join our Discord, you can click the link below us here tonight on our Twitch page. It's always available. Go ahead and click that, and you'll be ushered into our Discord, as well as you can send us a message via Speemail or instant message or something like that, wherever we can get messages, and we'll get you a link as well.
I have regrets. Yeah. I have regrets about posting in the lobby yesterday.
What'd you post?
So I posted this thing. It was like, oh God, I have to scroll forever. Name your favorite movie and replace one word in the movie title with bitches. And then like chaos ensued. Everybody had all these movie titles, and there's so many good ones. I'm not going to go through it because I don't want to get that explicit tag, but
well, I like how we try to be somewhat clean, family oriented, and then you're like, here's a thing, and then everybody piles on.
I know, you're all terrible people.
Like maybe we've been censoring ourselves for no reason at all. Everyone care. Oh my gosh. You have been obsessed with that video for the past 2 weeks.
I know, it's so good. Anyways, so that's the Discord stuff. Tonight we also have some news. We're going to take you through some game stocks as well. Streamer Spotlight. And we also...
Did you do this?
What?
Sorry, did you do the plus minus spread based off last week or
no,
what?
We didn't have a show last week.
Oh, that's right.
And the most recent week, we actually didn't even complete the GameStop section. So I'm actually just going on today's close prices and the difference.
As we should do.
Yeah, we'll work off that, and probably just going to keep going that way. Don't tell Shalene. She's listening in the car right now, cursing our names.
Not listening.
Totally,
she's not listening.
Totally. We're also going to talk about what the community is playing, and then we're going to talk about what we're playing. So,
nice.
Yeah, that's the plan for tonight.
Okay.
So, this just in. what happened in the world of news? Vendertron, take it away. Because neither of us have figured out who's going to do the news. And I have to fix Shalene's Kirby picture because it's just a piece of black curtain over her.
Is it?
Yeah. There.
Oh, it is. It did break. It was there.
Yeah, I guess I'm doing the news.
I mean, I could try.
We'll get through
We'll
it.
walk through it
All
together.
right. So,
oh my gosh.
it's pretty sad actually. The news this week is pretty the news with this
is it?
It's I don't know. Crusty PlayStations were a thing. Yeah, this is probably the best news story to come out of video game news this week, which is pretty sad. But all kinds of things happen in airports, right? Well, passengers at Boston's Logan International Airport were evacuated from a terminal on Saturday, and the local bomb squad was called in after TSA agents found a suspicious item inside a Delta passenger's bag that turned out to be a crusty old PlayStation.
Oh. How crusty had that have been?
Agents sounded the alarm after discovering a PlayStation, it's unclear which one specifically, in a degraded condition. And initially, they sort of recognized the device for what it was, but the bomb squad was actually called in just after 4 p.m. local time, and every passenger from Terminal A had to be evacuated as a precaution. The local news reports are that, they're saying that given the cause of the evacuation, some passengers were even removed from aircraft sitting on the tarmac, while others ran out screaming, all because of a crusty PlayStation.
That had to have been one nasty PlayStation.
Well, Dave Procopio, a spokesperson for Massachusetts State Police, told The Hill that the condition of the console caused abnormalities in the image produced when it was x-rayed, prompting the screener's concern. So during the investigation of the object and secondary sweeps of the area, passengers in Terminal A ended up being evacuated. So,
okay.
So I wonder if there's like maybe there was like some sort of fumes from the bomb from the battery or something. Like what components in the PlayStation would be degrading in such a way that it would like trip the X-ray?
Well, there's later on in the article, they wrote that they're picturing a PlayStation 3 with much of its plastic casing smashed and removed, leaving raw heat sinks and boards exposed. And that would do it. Like if the circuitry is exposed, that would look rather fishy.
Okay, how stupid do you have to be to think that it's okay to go through an airport security gate with an old crusty PlayStation that looks like a bomb?
Pretty dumb.
Right?
Dumb.
You're just asking for trouble. Was this person fined? I don't know.
Or like take it out of the bag and be like, this is just a PlayStation. It's broken. Yes. Like this is full, disclosure. This is just because aren't you supposed to remove all electronics from your bags stuff before they go through?
Yeah, you are.
Yeah. So either this was a prank. Look, like there's going to be some YouTuber. It's like, I got arrested at an airport. Like so anyway. Yeah, this is funny.
Have you ever been
Archon says you have no idea. He would know.
Archon, for our audio listeners, Archon is a TSA agent, so he sees all this kind of stuff.
Secret agent man.
I know, he's like my only friend that has agent in the professional role name, which is super cool.
I think he's 001.
001
like
point. Yeah. Thank you, Luke Plunkett from
.007
from Kotaku. This article is from
nice.
Luke Plunkett.
Yeah,
but
I guess what we can take away is that if you're going to travel with your electronic devices that are somewhat broken, get them out of your bags slowly and tell the TSA agents, boom. No, don't.
No.
But just pull it out and say, this is broken. I am sorry. It's safe. Put it down and run away. That's what you should do.
Don't run away. That's how you get arrested. Oh my gosh. Oh, okay.
I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
Have you ever been pulled aside in security? Have you ever
Um,
done something stupid? Has it ever happened to you?
no, I have. I've only flown commercially twice.
Really?
Yeah,
Oh.
I don't like flying.
Oh, okay.
I mean, I like flying in little
Guess
planes. I don't
that
like
means
flying
I'll
in
be
big
coming to
planes.
Virginia,
Virginia.
Pennsylvania,
Yeah,
not
there you
Virginia.
go.
I
Virginia.
just
That's for lovers.
yeah. Well, you know what I mean.
I mean, that's what they say.
I've had the whole gambit, other than things shoved in places that yeah.
You
Cuz
haven't been probed.
when I was in my old job working in the lab, I used to have to
Ah,
hold a radionuclide permit. So I was certified to work with
right.
radioisotopes. So and that showed up on my file when they pulled up my passport. So every single time I went through customs, I would get the full examination. Like they would ask me all kinds of questions. When was the last time you ordered radioisotopes? Do you know what it was? What was it used for? And I'm like, I'm going on a pleasurable vacation. This is not business. Like you don't need to ask me these questions. The last time I was in Palm Springs when I flew back, that was in January. Um, I got pulled aside because I had coffee beans in my carry-on.
Really?
Yes, I had because I wanted to buy locally roasted coffee beans and bring them
Yeah.
back for the espresso
Right.
machine.
Yeah. Set espresso machine.
And they pulled my bag aside. They took everything out of it and they had to like swab the coffee beans and put it in the machine because the coffee beans create an aerosol. Archon was telling me about this. Sometimes it's used as like for smuggling drugs and stuff. Am I putting
It's
you to
so
sleep?
no, it's just so freaking ridiculous. Like swap.
Well, I granted
I can't-
customs in the US is like stupid ridiculous. Customs coming back in Canada, they don't really care. They're like, how long were you there for? Did you have a nice time? Okay, bye.
I was watching a show and there was a guy ranting about um going through airports and he's like, I'm gonna start an airline called I'll Take My Chances Air. There's no TSA, there's no security, you just get on the plane and go, and if it
Oh,
blows up it blows up.
oh dear.
Part of me is like, yeah, that works, right? You just sign a waiver.
How much would those tickets cost?
A lot, maybe the insurance would be ridiculous.
Yeah.
But it is just like, why? What are they swabbing said coffee bean with like a a Q-tip swab, putting
No,
it in like a
well,
chemical analyzer?
it's like a square piece of paper, and they take forceps and then they swab the sides and the back, and then they put it in the
Oh, so they're
machine.
not like opening up the vacuum pack. So I'm like,
No,
that
no,
defeats
no,
the
no, no,
purpose of it.
no.
Oh, okay, all right.
But yeah. Anyways, yeah, I've had that. I've had the full body scan. I've had my hands swabbed. I've been pulled into a small room.
Ooh.
Yeah,
Yeah?
Carlo. Actually, when we were flying to Palm Springs, in Canada, my partner was pulled into a small room because the name on his passport was wrong.
Oh no, that's no good.
Well, actually, no. The name on his passport was right, but the name that the girl put in the computer was wrong. And that caused a 40-minute delay. 40 minutes. I was standing there in the hall waiting for them to come through customs. And you know, like how once you go past that point of no return,
Yes,
where
yeah.
you're not allowed to linger. Like you got to keep walking down that ridiculously long hallway.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I was standing there waiting forever. Anyways, we should probably get on with more news.
That's the first news story.
I know, I love it. It's a good thing Shalene's not here. We're never going to get done. Eric Wolpaw, the co-writer of the Portal series, says that he would love to work on a third game, but there are just a couple of problems. He's one developer out of hundreds of staff, and he's not sure that Valve would go for another Portal game's profit margins. He stated in a recent interview, and this article comes to us from CC Jiang from Kotaku, and he says, "I'm not getting any younger. We are reaching the point where it's crazy to think that the original development team is literally going to be too old to work on Portal 3. So we should just do it or not. Portal 2 was released in 2011, if you recall, and there have been no follow-up games since. So, yeah. He also goes on to say that I'd work on another Portal in a second, but this is yeah, he goes on to say that I'd work on another Portal in a second, but I can't do it, unfortunately. I could advocate for it, but it's going to help. The problem is with 300 employees, and I don't know exactly the breakdown between the production side versus the Steam business side versus legal. That's a lot of opportunity cost to taking 75 people and trying to get the game made. So as much as it seems like Valve often is just a bunch of people sitting around sipping gin and tonic, everyone's actually working. So... yeah. Have you played Portal?
Yeah.
Do you?
Oh yeah. I mean, it was great. It was so groundbreaking when Portal 1 came out, and it was just funny and silly and depressing and everything. Like, just it was really good.
Mm-hmm.
Portal 2 was really good. I played that a lot with my wife and with the co-op, and the main story was great, and the little robot and whatnot. Yeah, I mean, they're great games, and Valve has this, I don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing, right? Like, that whole thing from Batman, like either become the hero or live long enough to become the villain or die hero or whatever. I feel like Valve is dying as a hero in the sense that, like, they create really good games we all love, and we're like, we can't wait for the next one, and then they never create the next one.
Yeah.
So, like, we're always like, all those games have such a beautiful spot in our mind, rather than continuing on Halo and making games that just go on and on and on, like Final Fantasy and Halo.
Well, speaking of games that
Call of Duty.
Speaking of games that just go on and on,
Battlefield.
Hello Games says that there is a new project underway, and it is so ambitious it would seem impossible even with a 1,000-person team. Where have we heard this before?
No Man's Sky.
Oh, right. The same developer. Hello Games. This article comes from Ryan Dinsdale over at IGN. And Hello Games has a new project, like I said. And speaking to IGN, the studio co-founder and managing director, Sean Murray, said that while it's not a sequel to No Man's Sky, the new game is just as ambitious. And for a while now, we've been working on something pretty ambitious in the background. It's a small team, but we like it that way. Similar to No Man's Sky, it's kind of it's the kind of project that even if we had 1,000 people working on it, it would seem impossible. And then, of course, the development of the game is still in its very early stages. As of September last year, they reassured that No Man's Sky is still receiving regular updates, and it isn't finished. And the two games aren't impacting each other's development. So he said that it's, No Man's Sky is not being held back by the next project, but neither is the new thing being slowed by No Man's Sky. So that's good. That seems like they've found a good balance. Going on to say that, they're lucky enough to be able to allow folks to move freely to work on whatever excites them. So as you may recall, No Man's Sky just had a recently new big update called Outlaws, which completely overhauled space combat and added a new pirate underworld to the galaxy-spanning game. So it is available on PlayStation, Xbox, and PC. Nintendo players can enjoy the update alongside the rest of No Man's Sky when it comes to Switch this summer.
Ooh. Mm-hmm. I need to try this pirate thing. I mean, like, I saw a meme the other day when one of the No Man's Sky updates came out, and it's like, oh man, here's another amazing No Man's Sky update I will never play. And I feel like
I go in and I play it for like 30 minutes, and then
it's weird. I want to love No Man's Sky, right? Like, I just want to love it. It's beautiful. It's got all this, but every time I get in, I'm like, it's just so much.
I love it, but it doesn't keep me enthralled.
It's weird. It's really weird.
Yeah, some
I
games
wonder,
are like that, I'm finding actually that Horizon Zero Dawn is kind of like that for me.
oh,
Hmm.
I can't wait to hear about it. I didn't even know you started playing it.
Yeah, I picked it up on sale. Hmm.
Mm. Mm.
Yes.
Okay.
So it seems like they've got a strategy in place. I'm curious to see what this new game is because I do like No Man's Sky, and
Mm-hmm.
I think that Sean Murray and his team have definitely redeemed themselves in terms of accountability.
Absolutely.
So
Absolutely.
if the last, 6 years, is it 6 years?
Maybe.
X amount of years since No Man's Sky has been updated. They've been working all that time to try to
Yeah, probably
rekindle
around 6.
the consumer consumer's faith in them. So
I think it's doing pretty good.
yeah. Speaking of faith in things and losing faith in things, Netflix has had a really bad week. They've
Oh yeah.
yes, they've had very, very bad week. The service said it lost 700,000 subscribers after pulling out of Russia following the invasion of Ukraine. The company's stock lost more than a third of its value on Wednesday, a day after reporting its first quarterly loss of subscribers in a decade. So this is not good news for Netflix, but they're looking into content opportunities around video games specifically, from every possible direction. One of the sources from a source familiar with companies thinking told the Washington Post that Netflix's latest move is to turn the show to video game pipeline on its head, announcing that it will take popular tabletop card games like Exploding Kittens and produce TV shows about them, which is interesting because it seems like they've already done that a little bit. So, like they made the Stranger Things mobile game. And then there's that one with Bear Grylls where it's like a interactive something or other.
I have
Point
no
and
idea.
choose. Anyways, so they're actually making some pretty big bets on bold video game strategies as part of their new portfolio, which I think is good. I mean, you've got to adapt and try to make dues where you can, but they recently came under fire for blaming password sharing and high competition from platforms like Disney Plus and Hulu, which is interesting because previously they actually endorsed people using passwords on their platforms to share. So, but Netflix CEO Reed Hastings said during a Tuesday call with the Washington Post, "We've been doing these small acquisitions to build up the know-how and the creative chops to be able to make some really great plans and gains." And so they have purchased 3 game studios, the acquisitions of Texas-based mobile firm Boss Fight Entertainment, Finland developer Next Games, which were announced in March, and last September, the streaming service acquired Night School Studio, which made the supernatural adventure game Oxenfree. Next Game released Stranger Things Puzzle Tales as well last year, prior to its acquisition, and so that purchase came at a pretty fine price, and yeah, they're predicting some more consolidation in terms of the gaming space when it comes to big companies like Netflix and Microsoft buying up these smaller studios. So Netflix's plan is to stick with mobile games for now. They're going to begin sort of exploring the gaming world, according to News Source, and they're going to offer nearly 50 mobile games by the end of this year. And their mobile games can be found in the Apple App Store for iOS users and the Google Play Store for Android. Though only Netflix subscribers will be able to access the games. And their Netflix app currently advertises games alongside TV shows and movies. But to pull up the games more readily, you can search for games within the app, and the results for like Stranger Things 1984 will appear for you to be able to download. So.
It'll be interesting to see how this goes for them.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like so many companies that have defined themselves by much larger definitions have tried to sort of reach into the gaming money pot, and they're still struggling, like Amazon, for example. Like people still don't really know that they are developing video games.
I think it may work better because there was a time where like DirecTV or cable was like putting interactive games on there, but you'd have to use your TV remote. Where I'd say most of the people that probably watch Netflix are watching on like a console of some sort. So then like you've got your Xbox controller right there. So that might make things a little bit more accessible in the sense of, oh, I'll just pop on this game and play it real quick. But why you would why Netflix would put them on Netflix rather than publish them to like the Xbox game store doesn't really make much sense. And I feel like if they make good games, but they're not getting traction because they're in Netflix, that then you might see Netflix start publishing to the Xbox store or something like that. It's probably what I would think would be the better move rather than having it behind a paywall in the sense of a subscription to Netflix. Maybe if you buy the game, you get a discount for Netflix kind of thing if it's like published externally, but we'll see how this works out for them. Hopefully it does, because I don't want to see anybody fail. But at the same time, I think it's stupid that they're going to try to crack down on password sharing because that's dumb.
Well, the other thing is like if you have to pay an additional amount on top of your already monthly Netflix subscription to be able to access those games, how many people are just going to throw away their subscription? Like, oh, I can't access these. I already pay. You've already hiked the price up 200% since I entered into a contract with your company.
Oh, I don't think they'll put the games inside of Netflix behind a paywall. I just mean that if they make a good game, but somebody doesn't want to subscribe to Netflix, like I feel like, and also people aren't gonna. I just feel like it's going to be like, how we get like launcher fatigue where we have to download like 15 launchers to play games and stuff. I feel like it might get to that level of like, I'm on the Xbox, I'm going to play a game, but I'm not going to launch into Netflix and then get into a game. Yeah. So I feel like if that's what I was saying. If they start to develop good games, it would maybe behoove them to like publish them externally with some benefit. Like, you buy it on Xbox store, but then you also get like a discount to Netflix because you bought their game kind of thing.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't know how I feel about these big companies just buying up everything and not putting their brand on it, but they own it, right? Capitalism at its finest. But like,
I think if they're doing what Microsoft is doing and saying, you keep doing what you're doing, we're just going to fund you and take a cut of the profits, but you guys have creative control. I think that's probably a good case scenario for indie developers that wish they had capital to make better games. But I think I think it just depends on. I mean, we've seen so many times where a big company like will buy a small company and they completely overhaul it, and then all of a sudden it doesn't work,
and they're gone.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so like that's bad. But maybe Netflix again is kind of approaching it like Microsoft is like, okay, we'll buy, because they don't know anything about video games.
Yeah.
So why would they buy a video game company and then say, we're going to do it Netflix's way when they have no idea how to make a game? So maybe it's good that they're buying these indie companies because they're like, you have total creative control. You got to run stuff by us, but you have creative control. We'll take a cut, but you now have capital to fund the game you've always wanted to make.
Yeah, it could be. You could be right on that.
Who knows? We just have to wait and see.
We just have to wait and see. That's exactly it. Yeah, so that's sort of Netflix's ordeal this week. I'm kind of glad that I don't have any stocks in Netflix, but yeah. In other news, have you played Twisted Metal?
Oh, back in the day, Twisted Metal 2?
Twisted Metal was so good. Do you remember
Twisted Metal Black?
Do you remember the pickup truck with the camper on the back and it would like release bees?
I don't know that one.
Oh, it was the best. It would release angry bees. That was your secret.
The one I played the most was Twisted Metal Black, and holy crap, that game was dark.
Yeah, so good.
That game was so dark. It was so good.
Well, Twisted Metal creator David Jaffe has claimed that he rejected an offer from Tencent to direct a game that comes with a $100 million budget because of his views on the Chinese government. Speaking to Sacred Symbols Plus podcast, the director of the original God of War discussed how he felt uncomfortable dealing with the company after receiving an offer from it. And he goes on to say, I had a $100 million deal. I was courted by a Chinese company and I said no thank you because you're Tencent and I want nothing to do with you.
Dang, sticking to his guns.
It goes on to say it
That's
was
that's
bad because
awesome.
it was the Western Tencent. And it
Mm.
was a Western guy that I respect that was calling me, and I wasn't trying to shame the guy. I hope he's got thick enough skin and has been an executive in the business way longer than I have. But I was just like, man, I don't want to do business with a company like that, with a government like that. Pretty bold
I
statement.
I respect anyone who will turn down $100 million to stick to their integrity. That is,
Absolutely.
yeah.
Absolutely. And later in the podcast, he discussed the increasing in money being invested in studios across the industry. He elaborated on some of the reasons why he turned down Tencent, including, saying very bluntly, stop killing people. Again, people will be like, America's hands aren't clean. No, they're not clean at all. But we're also not, we all have a system that if we actually gave a crap, we could change it. And then he also says, in China,
Jeez.
you just get picked up off the street if you go online and say something bad about the police or the government or anything. And who knows when they'll see you again. That's not even mentioning if you're an ogre. Ogre?
Yeah, it's I think it's that
It's like
particular
it's a
group of
movement, right?
it's that particular group of people that are disappearing
Right.
constantly over
Yeah.
there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, in a tweet earlier this week, he said, being accused of making up the Tencent thing, man, I am so sorry some of you guys have been so harmed by the media. I get it that you don't know who to trust. But love, like, or hate me, I don't lie, and I always save the receipts. And then he posted, actually, a screenshot of his response in an email. He says,
Nice.
I have to very respectfully pass. There's a voice in my head from several years back yelling at me going, are you a moron? Big AAA game, great resources, great experience. You got rocks in your head, kid. And these days, though, he says that he's loving what he's doing with his stream/show videos and building his online community. He just does not want to break away from that.
Yeah.
He'll never be able
That's
to get off the launch pad, but it's where his heart is right now, and he would be harming that and not giving people his all. So he said, if I were to pursue that cool opportunity, he would probably hate himself a little bit.
hey, I mean that I can respect anyone that sticks to their guns like that. So that's awesome.
Yeah, I don't need your.
You know, it's one thing to get,
$100 million.
it's one, you're not a sellout if you make money to do something commercially that you love. You're a sellout if someone like him would go, okay, I'll take 100 million to work for a company I hate. That's, selling out. And it's really good to see that he's just like, no, that's really cool.
I mean, it's kind of a no-brainer, when, if Putin came to you and said, I'll give you $1 billion if you do this thing for me, you'd be like, no, because you're a psychopath.
Yeah, but if you were presented with a legitimate $100 billion or $1 billion, you would take a second, I think. I mean, anybody would be like,
Anybody would take a second, but like, really,
it depends,
it's
like, would you wear
literally
a
the
Putin
difference
shirt for $1 billion? You're like,
it's literally the difference between being a basic, decent human being or not,
absolutely,
and standing up
fine line.
for what's right, and that's why
Fine
there's
line.
so much corruption everywhere. Anyway, speaking of corruption, are you ready for more ads, Rick?
Oh, always.
Do you like ads in your video
Yeah,
games? Well, you're
totes.
gonna get some more ads. Because
Perfect.
both Sony and Microsoft have seemingly come around to the same idea that they're going to be revitalizing the concept of putting in-game ads into their video games, as yet just another method of making money. And this time, players won't actually pay in any way, and they'll see these ads showing up in their games. This news comes in the development of two findings that both companies are pursuing some version of the same concept. In a report last week in Business Insider, that Microsoft is creating a private marketplace where it can sell in-game ads in free-to-play games on Xbox. And they cite that, the overall goal is to generate revenue for developments, not Xbox itself, as it would be not taking a cut. So some examples of ways in which you can see ads in some of the games you like to play would be included in things like billboards, inside racing games, which isn't actually the first time that we've seen ads in games, right? We've seen ads elsewhere in games. And yet it
Sure.
also appears to be coming up again in the metaverse narrative.
This doesn't bug me, though. Like, all right, you're going to spend all your time perusing online. You've got people who buy exclusively Razer or Logitech, stuff. But then you're going to get all grumpy when you're in a game with a Razer ad on a billboard with all of your Razer gear. Like, what are they doing advertising to me? Like, you
I think
buy all their stuff.
I think it
What's
depends.
the big deal?
I think it depends. If it's immersion breaking, then I've got a problem with it.
Sure. Yes, I agree with you on that one. Yeah, but if it's a racing game and there's just billboards around, like, okay, cool. There's a Pepsi billboard and I'm driving. Like, who gives?
But if I'm riding my horse in Red Dead and there's a McDonald's billboard,
what you need is a McDonald's hamburger.
I see a sign for Axe body spray, somebody's getting axed.
Yes, I agree. Right? I agree with you in that regard. I do.
So
I do agree with you on that. But this has been going on for a very long time. I mean, if you think back to racing games, all of the cars are real. All of the parts you would put, like BBS and Koenigsegg and stuff like that, was real companies that you were putting in their things, and they paid to have the brand in there. So it's essentially advertising. And then I pulled up this article because it was something I remembered that back in 2000, okay, this was 22 years ago, in Burnout Paradise, they had early voting registration or early voting reminders on their billboards for the Obama presidential campaign that were paid for the campaign. So I mean, it's been happening.
Yeah.
I would have an issue if, yes, it was immersion breaking. Like you're in Skyrim and then like there's a town crier who's like, buy ye old Apple iPhone, like that may not work out so well.
I can see this being a real common thing in simulation style video games. Euro Truck Sim, where
that makes sense.
And honestly, I don't know if I have a problem with that because it would actually build on the immersion, because it would be up to date, real time ads that would be like, oh cool, it makes me feel like I'm actually in the world, because there's flipping ads everywhere. Wherever you drive, there's ads all over the place. So yeah.
But yeah, I definitely do agree that if it is immersion breaking, then it's a problem. And I also think that if it's like a free to play game, then yeah, I mean,
they have to be very
free,
careful about it. Like where they put the ads matters, because if I'm getting an ad on a load screen, or like my game is being interrupted because of an ad in some way, either visually or auditory, then I've got a problem with it. Right? If it impedes me from progressing in the game that I'm playing, and that happens. I mean, right? That's television. That's what television is, right?
Mobile games. I mean, mobile games do it.
In mobile games, yeah.
Yeah. But I think, again, when it comes to like standard TV or like a mobile game that's free and it says, hey, there's in-game ads, there's kind of a mutual agreement of like, okay, yes, I'm going to download Angry Birds 2. And yes, I understand there's ads, and fine.
Yeah.
If you pay $80 for like a game and then there's ads that kind of interrupt you, I think that wouldn't fly. And I also don't think that would last very long.
No.
I do genuinely feel like if they do implement this, it's going to be tasteful, because again, the examples that we have seen of this have been tasteful, like Battlefield 4 billboards for Logitech, or maybe not tasteful is the right word, but done in a way where it's not interrupting your game. You know what I mean? So
anyways, so that's pretty much it for the news this week.
I have one thing to add. I thought this was interesting.
Go ahead.
Yes. So speaking of Battlefield 2042, because the Forbes article that I linked in the news there showed a billboard for Logitech from Battlefield 2042, and I thought it was interesting that. All right, so you know Battlefield's pedigree, right, Vendor? Like you know the Battlefield 1, Battlefield 2, and like
Yeah.
all the PC
Mm-hmm.
history and stuff. So in November, when this game launched, it peaked out at 100,000 players on Steam, which doesn't sound like a lot because it isn't. But what do you think the average player count is in the last 30 days?
100.
Well, better than that. 1,800 players in the
Ooh.
last 30 days on Steam for Battlefield 2042. It's so bad. In 2 months, they went from, so it was launched in November 30th, and that November 30th to December had like 47,000. By
Oh dear.
end of January, it was down to 5,000 players.
Okay. Well.
So it's just really crazy to see a AAA pedigreed game die like this.
Hey, it
This
happens.
is so bad.
I hope that they
just
learn something from it. You can't just keep regurgitating the same game over and over and over.
Or doing it badly.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're gonna regurgitate the game, like put the good parts in,
Yeah.
not the bad parts,
Yeah.
because that's what they did. Just give you the bad parts. And the funny thing is this game's been out since November, right, of last year. They just, and it's multiplayer, multiplayer PvP. They just announced like 2 days ago with their new update, you're gonna have VoIP,
VoIP.
voice over IP, like chat in game.
Yeah.
They didn't have chat, like voice chat in game at all. And everyone's like, this, don't act like this is a big thing. Like now you get voice chat. Like this is like day one.
You can dress it up all you want. It ain't gonna change.
No.
Jeez.
So yeah, it's just funny.
All right.
It just made me giggle. Oh, knock my camera down.
Well, that's the news.
That is the news.
Now we got some stocks to go through, and Rick's gonna take you guys through that.
So we're gonna start off with Sony. Should I
just?
Am
I gotta
talking
shorten
over?
this bumper. It's
You do have
there.
to.
We go. Okay, we're good.
All right, so Sony closed out at $85.60, and they are down by $2.55. Microsoft closed out at $274.03, and they're down by $6.75. Now's the time to buy. Nintendo closed out at $61.31, down 40 cents. Take-Two went up by $4.88, closing out at $136.41. Activision is down by 29 cents to close out at 78.61. Ubisoft up by $3.87. They closed out at $38.43. EA closed out at $128.09. And they are up by $4.35, despite the terrible drop in player count in 2042. And Tencent is down by 7 cents, closing out at $42.66. And that is the Gamestack.
Okay. We also have a brief streamer spotlight, and this week I decided we should shout out Hardware Guy.
Yes,
because we were talking about Hardware's Fleet for Kids and the St. Jude's charity stream that he's going to be or is currently doing. So if you guys are interested, once again, in donating to Hardware's Fleets for Kids 2022, you can go check out his Tiltify and look up Hardware's Fleets for Kids. But yeah, we encourage you to go over to Hardware's Twitch page and check out his channel. It's pretty awesome. He is a Canadian streamer, part-time variety streamer, and he primarily plays Sea of Thieves. But yeah, he's got a really nice community that surrounds him of people that are just like some of the kindest people you can ever meet. I've talked about Octagon Ron on the stream, and Shumba and Freyline and all these wonderful Sea of Thieves streamers, and Hardware is always the backbone of all of those communities. So we love him, and we're so glad to be able to promote him on the show. As I mentioned at the beginning, so far he has raised $450.69 to St. Jude's Children's Research Hospital. on his way to his $1,000 goal. And I've also been streaming on my personal page with that same OBS overlay. So bringing in some donos as well there, which is kind of nice. But go check him out, twitch.tv/hardwareguy. And go shoot him a follow, send him some love, and keep an eye out for when he's streaming next.
Awesome.
Yeah. So next up, I've got to talk about what everyone else is playing. And we've got quite a bit of screenshots this week. I actually managed to get them all in. So what?
The shared screen, is that the start of them?
Yeah.
What I see?
Yeah.
Because we showed that one 2 weeks ago.
Oh, well, I'm showing it again. This is from Taz. He says sunrise at the farm and State of Decay breakdown. And
Gotcha.
He's standing on a field, and there looks like there's a bunch of zombie dudes coming.
Bunch of zombies.
This one here is from Vexinator. Says almost 60 hours of playtime on this
one.
guy, and I'm still only level 66. Also found a new hat on an enemy I
like
killed.
that. Oh, that's the helmet with the goblet on top.
Is this Elden Ring?
Yes.
Yeah. So here's a picture of his
that's the
dude
one
with the
on
goblet
top.
on his.
Yeah.
He's got a damn punch bowl on his head.
Yeah.
He could just walk around with yeah. So
That's a cool great shield.
I love it. It's great. We also have this one from Frankie. And she says, I bought Coffee Talk after RTZ13 highlighted it on being on sale, and the proceeds going to help the family of Fami, the creator and writer who passed away recently. I just finished it, and it was really, really enjoyable. Cozy and fun visual novel with a coffee making minigame. There's some challenge modes to play when you finish the story, but I'll leave those for another sleepless night. And for our audio listeners, there's a picture of her character sitting in a coffee shop at like a coffee bar, and
it's very like neon outside.
Yeah, and it's
rainy.
kind of got like an 8-bit sort of Stardew feel to it a little bit.
Yeah.
I'm not sure what that art style is.
Oh,
A wild Shalene.
a wild Shalene has appeared.
Hey guys.
Hey, turn your camera on. Oh no.
How are you doing?
Oh no.
Hey.
that's
I
screwed
look
up.
terrible.
You look-
Wow.
No,
You look
Okay.
fabulous. You look
I'm a mess. But
Stop.
hi guys.
Over
How you
here.
doing?
Doing good.
Doing okay.
What are you guys up to?
We are doing.
We're doing a show. Can't you see?
You're doing a show?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. We're doing okay. Hi and welcome to Gamestack. I'm Shalene.
Shalene, we already did that part.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah, we're at the end.
Okay. Thank you for joining us for this amazing episode of Gamestack.
Okay, Rick, we're just gonna take it from the top. So,
No,
crusty
no.
PlayStations.
No.
Oh my gosh, you guys. How are you guys doing though? Can we go back to the banter? Because well, no, I mean we'll go back here when we're done
I know,
with
I
the
know.
banter.
Just
But
read-
like,
and then the chat
just-
goes crazy. Like they didn't
Because I
care.
miss you
They
guys.
didn't care when we were here, but when you showed
Shalene
up,
is the true star.
let
You
me
should know
open the
this.
chat. I haven't even opened chat. I don't.
Oh my God.
Rick is
Oh
so
my
mad because I've
goodness
been
gracious.
playing that sound bumper through the whole show tonight.
Oh, it's so funny. It's so funny.
I've got to fix.
Okay.
This she just like
Um,
you just drop this atomic bomb. Just show up here. Think like you own the place.
She does own the place.
She does.
Okay.
She does.
I mean, I'm 1/3 owner of the place.
1/3 owner,
Let's see
100% responsible owner.
1/3 owner, but you own majority stock somehow.
I don't even know. It's been a week, you guys. It has been a week. It's been a week.
You seem really lively.
Yeah,
I'm
this is
surprised.
great.
Okay, I've had a lot of caffeine today.
I was
Oh,
gonna say.
excellent.
Yes, and I also just scarfed a bunch of Taco Bell, so I'm ready to go. I'm feeling alive.
Excellent.
Yeah, it's
Oh, I'm so excited.
it's really like it legit. It's been a week. It's been.
yeah.
I was
like,
at a conference.
Oh
I was at a
no,
conference
that's why.
in Santa
That's
Fe.
why.
Yeah, I'm so tired.
I recall you telling us the story about the last conference you were at and how terrible the food was.
Yeah. This one was less bad. Like it was not good food, but it was less bad.
Nice.
They
Nice.
did have like a banquet, and they served
Ooh.
prime rib,
Oh.
and it was not terrible.
Hmm.
So that was good.
Okay.
The salad was amazing that came with it. It was really good salad.
Nice.
Well, Rick and I were just going through the community Let's Play to
lovely.
show screenshots. And we were just showing this one from Frankie, who played this game called Coffee Talk. And the proceeds for sales from the game go to the family of Fami, which is a creator and writer who recently passed away.
I've been meaning to play Coffee Talk. This has been on the list for a long time. I've never gotten around to it.
Oh.
I'm trying to find show notes. So give me a minute there.
Episode 114.
And carry on without me.
I mean, we're kind of running on the tail end. I don't think you need the show notes.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I'll feel better if I
Okay.
see them.
I feel like you have control.
That way I'll know they exist and that you guys aren't just going off the cuff completely.
So
Never.
Frankie and RTZ13 got into this conversation about Coffee Talk in the screenshots and stories, and he responded to her message saying, "I'm a little bit behind you, but really enjoying it so far. Stories are great and serious. Mood is really good. Reminds me of Cloudpunk, but here you're making coffee." And he shared this picture of him doing some latte art, and which is fantastic. I love it.
Really fun.
I went to an Irish pub over the last weekend, and they drew little clovers in my Guinness foam.
Nice.
It was nice.
I've
touch.
also got some more Coffee Talk photos. In case you're interested, I just gotta find the scroll button here. Can I?
You know, for having this
there we
all
go.
set up, you really don't have it set up.
Hey, it's hard for some people. Okay. This next one is from Vod.
Oh, it's so
Oh,
cute.
wow.
Look at Lego Mando.
It's Lego Star Wars, and he says
Oh,
the Force is
yeah.
strong with these bricks. This is the way.
Oh, look at the little Grogu.
He's so cute.
Are they on Naboo? I feel like they're on Naboo.
Maybe.
It looks like Naboo.
Yeah, maybe.
I have ordered Lego Star Wars, but I don't think I've gotten a shipping confirmation. I should check on that.
Oh.
So then Jess piped in. She poked her head into screenshots and stories and posted her latte art from Coffee Talk. And she said, everybody is, but here's a couple of my faves I did. And so she has this one and then also this one, which is very cool. And then also this one, which apparently is some of the characters, I think, maybe, in Coffee Talk. I like this banner. This would make a good Twitter
Who
banner.
is this astronaut guy
Yeah.
whose face is the void?
I love it. Danger,
It stares into you.
Danger Will
just
Robinson.
As you stare into it, it stares back.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
It kind of does stare back.
This one
Okay, what is that?
fantastic.
I want to press it.
I don't know what game
too.
this is, but it's Ghost Recon's Recon Wildlands.
It
Can I
is?
push-
Oh,
can I
it's
push the
Yes,
button?
and it's from
all
RTZ13, and he says some kind of Easter egg. Perfect timing. I don't know the origin, but the aftermath is perfect.
Oh, nice.
Mm.
For our audio listeners,
Oh,
it was
he
a
napalmed a village.
it was a little button in the middle of this salt flat, and then there was a sign that said, "Don't press me." And then he pressed it, and like off in the distance, there's all these explosions.
My
Lovely.
favorite thing about this game on the screenshot is the fact that you have this highly precision rifle, this high precision rifle, somehow strapped to the side of that tiny backpack
Mhm.
by where the scope mounts with
What?
the suppressor
Just dragging
digging into
it
the salt.
Dragging on the ground, just like that's gonna be healthy for it.
I
Mhm.
imagine that
Yep.
this is how I would carry guns if the three of us had to go into battle.
Just
Oh my
dragging the barrel
goodness
around.
gracious. I doubt that. I feel like you would be the actual commando out of the three of us.
No, I would be like, Rick, my
Mhm.
gun's dirty.
He'll hold it with his
Can you
pinky out
clean
like
it?
this, just like,
there's a bug on it.
See, I feel like Rick and I would be doing some strategizing and we'd be talking about like, okay, I'm going to take a sniper perch there, Rick, and I want you to make
Bender
some
walk.
noise over here.
I'll just be
And
sweeping in
when
the
we
background.
when we come out of cover, ready to execute the plan, everybody's gonna be dead, and you'll be
Bender's
going through
bloody.
their pockets.
And then we'll be like, dude, what'd you do? And he'll be like, they made fun of Canada.
Isn't this what I was supposed to do?
Yeah, the instructions said point and shoot.
I asked him to wear a mask.
Yeah. He told
They weren't
he-
vaccinated.
not vaccinated.
And he said it was fake, and then I just saw red.
Okay. Moving on. This next one is
Ah.
from Taz. It's a beautiful sunset screenshot.
Gosh, this game's so gorgeous.
In the drop back, and there's some very turquoisey type water, and he's got his gun at the ready. And he said he was sailing with El Gato crew that night, and then he also posted. Gosh, why isn't this forwarding? Oh, I think that might be the end. Yeah, I didn't get the last photo in there, but I'll show it on the next episode.
Okay.
Yeah,
that's a beautiful screenshot.
It really is pretty.
So that's what the community is playing, but let's talk about what we're playing. Rick, what have you been up to?
Well, I've been trying to play Elden Ring. So my new job, along with my commute, has been a bit challenging. Let's see, I may have hit 100 hours in the last 2 weeks this week.
With or without commute?
Without.
Ooh.
Without.
Yeah.
That's just work hours. And it's easily 9+. I've had 11-hour days so far.
But you're happier?
Oh my gosh, yes.
I'm so glad.
My wife was like, if I could create a perfect job for you, it wouldn't be as perfect as this job is. So anyway,
does she know you at all?
Well, it's just I didn't think a job existed that was this perfect.
It is so cool. Some of the shots that Rick sends us is like broken material from the Rolling Stones that he has to like fix because so and so dropped it on Mick Jagger dropped it on the stage. Damn it!
I in one day, and I don't mean this. I guess a humble brag, but in one day,
name drop away.
Yes.
In one day, I worked on stuff for the Black Crowes, Pink, Rolling Stones, Coheed and Cambria, and forget who else. But that was like one day, like just working on all that stuff.
No big deal.
Kiss. I did some stuff for Kiss.
They're still touring? Wow.
Yeah, they still are.
Are they hitting all of the biggest nursing homes in the country?
Jeez.
Sorry, I was trying to think of like a nursing home name, but I couldn't come up with one, so the joke fell apart. But anyway, yeah, it's been a very fun and rewarding job.
Shady Pines, Ma. Shady Pines.
Are you ready to rock Shady Pines? Pyro, everyone has a heart attack. Anyway, so after, and it is a stressful job. It's a lot of running around. It is very stressful.
And there's probably a lot of accountability. Like if you don't set stuff up right, that's on you.
You've ruined a giant concert.
You just destroyed Shania Twain's entrance.
It does not. Nothing ever leaves without being thoroughly checked and working. Like there's a whole process. The actual engineers for the shows will come in and do checks before it ever gets on a truck. So I mean, it will not leave. And even if it goes out on the road and it's broken, we will fix it via phone, or we will go out and fix it. So I mean, it's definitely
How big is your crew then?
In my department, there's 5, but there's a lot of different departments to do a whole bunch. I mean, it's huge.
You must be doing all kinds of things. Like
and it must be for stuff all around the country, huh?
We are global, so we have warehouses in like Australia, the UK, Germany, LA, Nashville, Cleveland, like all over the place.
That's really cool.
So it's a big thing, and a lot of other warehouses are like, we need all this stuff, and it's like, you're taking all of our gear, and they're like, we know. But no, it's a lot of fun. It's good, but the long hours, and then by the time I get home, I don't have a game. I realize this. I don't have a game to relax to, because like it's 8:30 at night. I just got home. I ate dinner. I'm sitting down at my computer, and then like I'm in endgame Elden Ring.
You need to go back into some No Man's Sky. That's what needs.
I really do.
Happen.
Like I've gotten so. Oh my gosh. So I stopped kind of playing my mage character and started playing my dexterity character, which has just been a lot of fun. And my goodness, So someone was like, you need to get this katana called the Rivers of Blood. It is destructive. It's beautiful. But there's a glitch in the game that when you beat the area boss of that area, all of a sudden the guy who's supposed to invade you where you get the katana doesn't invade you anymore.
Uh-oh.
So I can't get that katana now. And
Lame.
yes, very. So last week I was in the mountaintops of the Giants and I was trying to like progress the game a little bit. And I go into this area and there's something called the Flame Giant, and he's the last of the giants in the mountaintops. And he's this really tall dude with like a grand beard and a big cylindrical shield. And I'm like, I'll take him down. And I get on my horse and I'm trotting up towards him, and he just picks up this shield slowly and then goes, "Foo," and I'm dead. like he's just swatting a bug. Just so it's like, all right, let's try this again. I'm not going to use the horse this time. I summon my little summon and I start running up, and instead of smashing me with a shield, he puts it into the snow and flings a bunch of snow at me and eats half my health. So as I get up from being hurt from this snow barrage, I like go to like drink this elixir, and I drink it just in time. He goes, "Phew," and drops the shield on me again. Health goes all the way back down. And so it took me a very long time to like beat this stupid fire dragon. And then after I beat him, I get to go to this place called the Crumbling Farum Azula or something. And it's basically a town that's kind of held in the sky by a bunch of tornadoes, and it's slowly crumbling apart.
That sounds awesome.
It's a really beautiful place. But there's a lot of places to fall off of and die from.
And you found them all?
Found all of them, including ones that you shouldn't be found. So like,
well, isn't Elden Ring all about going where you can't go?
Well, no, Elden Ring is all about torture and hating yourself and self-loathing. And but I'm saying the difficulty curve between like some of the last areas to like the end game is ridiculous. Like I go from being competent to like getting two-shotted by everything. And so I'm in like the Crumbling Farum, and I'm fighting this thing, and then another thing pops out from somewhere, so I roll and fall off the side.
Sounds
and it's just like, oh my gosh,
sounds way too close to reality, in my opinion.
It's so it was anger inducing. So I realized that I can't.
You need something that will calm you down.
And I can't sit for an hour, because it's really one of those games where you've got to learn as you go, in the sense of, okay, there's 3 enemies here, there's 2 enemies over there.
Yeah.
I need to learn how to beat the dungeon,
mm-hmm.
and I just don't have the time in the evening to do it. Now, I ended up kind of getting a little bit further in the game, and I kind of got a little bit over that hump by literally just running away. I pulled Sir Robin and bravely ran away. And as I'm kind of getting towards the end boss in this game, they released patch 104, in which they nerfed one of the ranged blood fly summon things that allowed you to kill the end boss a little bit easier, because she's very, 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 very difficult. And they just made it harder. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to.
So what are you gonna do? What are you gonna play instead?
I don't know. My coworker's trying to. He wants me to play some Forza with him, so I probably will do that on Sunday.
Hey, tell us about your coworkers. Do they play video games? Because if they don't, then you should probably fire them all. So.
Oh, we've more than likely been killed in Hunt, Shalene, by one of the guys in the repair department.
Really?
Yes. See, he's in the right place. Yeah. He really is.
Well, one of my interview questions was Star Wars or Star Trek, and I said Star Wars, obviously.
Ooh, that's
and then
tough.
My upper boss was like, ugh, and then my actual boss was like, yeah.
It's a tough call.
Apparently someone said they're not into sci-fi, and they're like, you're not.
Yeah. Don't work here.
I think my answer to that would be both, to be honest.
I'm just a Star Wars person.
I
But
think I would choose Star Wars
Yeah.
Hey,
at this point in my
Jane-
life.
The Janeway
But-
is the only way, Shalene.
There have been points in my life where it would have been Trek without hesitation,
yeah.
but at this time in my life,
Mm,
it's worse.
So I was in the repair department doing some work, and we got on the subject of video games, and someone piped up and was like, "Hey, do you like Hunt?" I was like, "Oh yeah, Hunt's great. It's everything like I love in
So
one
good.
game." And I was like, "I should play it more, but I don't." And then he looked at this other dude, and the guy who asked me looked at another guy in the repair department and goes, "Yeah, that guy's really good at it." And so I found out that this one guy in the repair department was at one point before they wiped the leaderboards was ranked second.
Oh, jeez. So
Can
he's,
we
like,
take
really good.
lessons?
So like I said, we've probably
Let's-
been killed by him. But he has like multiple characters. Like one's like a serious character, and one's is just run around and do whatever. But yeah,
I
apparently
think
he's
we
doing-
should
he's
see
pretty
if
good.
he will backpack us through
We should have him on the stream and do a stream with him. That would be so fun.
Yeah, I don't know what his like Steam name or whatever name he uses. on
Yeah.
Horn is. But yeah, like most of them do play video games.
It's great. Sounds like
in
you have a
some
really
capacity.
good group of people to work with, and some of them are in our Discord now, Shalene.
Yeah,
Yay!
Sound
So,
Freak
yeah.
is my coworker, the one that wants to play Horizon, and I think we'll probably do that on Sunday, hopefully. But yeah, it's a fun little place, and everyone's nerdy and geeky and very vulgar, so it's fun.
Wonderful.
I love it. Sounds,
anyway,
sounds
Bender.
like you're in your element.
I am.
Yeah.
But what element of games have you been playing this week?
Oh my gosh, you guys! I finished my season
Nice.
in Sea of Thieves.
Beautiful.
I didn't think I
I'm
could
so
accept a
jealous.
proposal this early, but I'm done my season. I've got the sword, which is the
Ooh.
only thing I
I'm
wanted
so
from. Well,
jealous.
actually, that's not true because the floral headband has now my Sea of Thieves character, which is the one video game character that I like. I wish that I could 3D print a life size of him and put him in my bedroom because he's so cool. Anyways, he's got the floral headband from the season, and it completes his outfit. Like it just totally makes his outfit.
It's perfect.
Mhm. And I got the sword, which is the Athena sword, and that was the one thing that I really, really, truly wanted. And I'm almost done with the sea forts. I finished collecting all of the trinkets from all the cupboards. If you recall, you've got to do that like 250 times. So I reached grade 5
For
on that.
commendations.
Yeah. Because I mean, I'm kind of a commendation whore now, so
Mhm.
it's a thing. I have lists, spreadsheets of stuff. Yeah. So I've been playing some Sea of Thieves. It's been quite a lot of fun. I was sailing. We started up a Cali Galley the other night, and it was me and Grim and Callie and Kit, and we decided to go into the Devil's Roar, keep things a little bit spicy, do some arena stuff. And we're floating around, digging in all the islands, fighting skellies, doing all this stuff. And then we get, when you finish the Athena, you get that final map. And the final map is the Chest of Legends, right? And so you go to the island where you got to dig. And so we're at the island, and the neighboring island is erupting, which, I mean, you're in the Roar. It's pretty standard. I thought we were pretty far away. And, well, the boat got hit. And Kit and I were on the beach right next to the boat. Grim was over on the other side of the island digging the chest. And Callie, she was on the island too, fighting skellies or something like that. And I go back on the boat, and I'm going to like bucket the water, and I look up, and the main mast is on fire, and I'm like, oh, the mast is on fire. And Grim goes, no, and then all of a sudden, boo!
Uh-oh.
There was an ancient mega keg in the crow's
Oh,
nest.
no.
And there was like 8 holes in the bottom of the boat. And Kit's like, I'm coming. I'm like, just bucket. We got to get the holes. Like, it was so awesome. I can't believe we didn't sink. But it was one of my more fonder memories. I love sailing in the Devil's Roar. It's so good. Especially when you dig up a keg in the sand and then a geyser like pops up right where the keg is and blows you to smithereens. So good. So yeah, I've been playing some Sea of Thieves. I managed to pick up Horizon Zero Dawn 50% off. for the what was the sale that they had? It was some sort of, there was a huge
Steam's
sale.
always having a sale nowadays.
It was there was a huge sale. So I picked up Horizon Zero Dawn, and I've been sort of progressing through that. I learned that you can't get that really sweet power armor. You've got to progress the game. And I was like,
Yes, yeah.
I was like, I wonder if I can get to this part of the map and like get the third power cell and then go get the fourth one. But you actually have to like unlock the quest to get. And I'm like,
I did eventually get the power armor.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
Yeah. So could really use that. Those sawtooths are something else.
Mhm.
Yes, they are.
They really are.
But the game is beautiful. Yeah, I'm quite enjoying it. I can't get past the over the shoulder third person. It's really hard. I from my follow days, I'm a first person view. So it's challenging, and like I was saying to Rick earlier, it's Horizon for me is one of those games that it's really good and I enjoy it, but it doesn't keep me enthralled. So kind of like No Man's Sky, I love it, but I don't keep going back to it. So yeah.
Is there like a story mode for that game?
There
it's
is.
Just like,
yeah.
If you tend to fall off, I would suggest just doing that to learn the story, because it is a really cool post-apocalyptic story.
Yeah,
and I know we all love post-apocalyptic.
I'm loving the post-apocalyptic story in it.
Wait till some of the twists come. It's a really cool take on it.
I really need to go back to that game.
I love like reading some of the notebooks because like there's this weird undertone of like political discourse that is so similar to what we're going through right now. It's almost like I'm experiencing the future of our own reality, which is a little bit, I don't know, disconcerting.
Yeah,
maybe.
I would say the biggest difference with Horizon though in that reality was the corporations were more the governing bodies than the government was though. But yeah, it's very you're like reading some of the things you're like
Yeah, you're like, whew, this is too close to home. Anyways, so there's that. Also,
yeah, what is this MSF? What is this?
Oh,
Liquid Game. Nice.
So yes, this is the new unit, and it's a new unit. I checked the serial number.
Please
it is quite
tell
a unit.
our listeners what we are looking at.
Right. So
they're not just thinking it's your unit.
For our audio listeners, a couple episodes ago, I talked about the Bravo throttle quadrant from Honeycomb Aeronautics, which is they make hardware for flight simulation. And I purchased this Bravo throttle quadrant, which allows me to operate an aircraft. This one is a twin engine, right? And one of the wires inside of this lever, actually, this one here on my old unit, actually severed. And I could see it from the outside. And when I sent an email to Honeycomb, I said, I've got this problem, the unit, the wire is severed. And the girl says to me, well, can you take off the shell and take a picture of it? I'm like, sure. Right. So I took the shell off, I took a picture of it, sent it to her. She sends me an email back and says, well, we can't replace the unit now because you voided your warranty. And I'm like, You're kidding. Are you serious? You just told me to take this covering off and take a picture of the inside. I'm like, you've got to reconsider. Can you forward this email and it's the string of emails to your manager? Like, can we, I tried to Karen my way out of it, but it didn't work because she didn't even respond. Anyways, I thought, I'm going to let a few weeks go by and I'm going to try this again with my non-professional email. So I sent it from a different email and I said, look, I've got this problem with this unit. The wire is broken. It's clearly a faulty product, regardless of whether or not I took the shell off, right?
Yeah.
And, you've got to replace it. So I get a different person and the guy says, yeah, we'll replace it. Send it back. We're going to get somebody to send you the information to package it up and send it back to us. So I package it all up. I send it back. The person who sent me the packing information and the packing slip for UPS or USPS was the same girl that screwed me over the first time, but she didn't clue in. She didn't clue in that it was me. So anyways, here it
Good.
is in all its glory. And I gave it a little bit of a test run the other day. It works really good. So I'm going to be definitely hopping back into Microsoft Flight Sim.
Nice. I miss your flight sim stories. I really do.
Yeah, I'm thinking I'm going to do, I might do a cross US tour, because where I had sort of left off where things started breaking was a cross Canada tour. So now I think what I'll do is I'll make my way down the BC coast, and then I'll go into Oregon and down California, and then I'll sort of like serpentine my way through.
Nice.
Yeah. Anyways, that's my
Cool.
gameplay.
Very cool.
Shalene, what have you been up to?
I don't remember the last time I played a video game. I took my Switch along for this conference. I never had a chance to play it.
Oh.
Yeah, so it sat in my suitcase being sad.
You had mentioned that you and your mom had gone for hotel breakfast. Did you bring your mom with you on the conference?
I did. Yeah, I took mom
Aw.
with me to the conference.
That's
And
adorable.
yeah, so she chilled out while I went to conference sessions and stuff.
That's
and
nice.
yeah, it was nice for her to get out of the house.
I love the contrast where she's just like, "Oh, it was a nice, relaxing day. How was your day?" And you're like, "I don't want to talk about it."
I know. I'd get back and I was like, ah, it was awful. My office was like not coping with my absence, and
And
so
you were ill the week before.
I was.
So it was
yeah,
like
I was
double.
out with flu.
Yeah.
So, I was on the phone a lot with the office while trying to get as much as possible out of the education portion of the conference. And it was, I'm tired. I'm so tired. I went to a bookstore. That was fun. There was a bookstore across the street from the hotel where the conference was. They let us out for like a 10-minute break, and I see through the bars of the fence at the courtyard this little used bookstore, and I'm like, I'm going there. And
Did you find any rare first editions?
this bookstore was like, it kept weird hours, because every time that I would be like, okay, I'm gonna go to the bookstore, I'd look out the window and they were closed.
Oh no.
So they were only opening for like 3 hours in the afternoon.
It's like some
And-
retired guy that he determines what the hours are now. It doesn't matter anymore.
So finally yesterday I managed to get down there while they were still open. Mom came along. She also loves books, probably where my love of books was born. And we go into this bookstore, and it is the tiniest little bookstore I have ever been in. And there are just stacks of books everywhere. And it was so disorganized and so messy. There are stacks of books on the floor. Like it's a walking hazard. There are whole sections that you just can't get to because there are piles of books in the way. And the man who owns the bookstore, like you said, you expected that he was kind of a retiree. That does seem to be the case. And I feel like it was his personal book collection that no longer fit in his house. And this was the solution somehow.
Hey, that's kind of smart, actually.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it was really, really funny. He made me laugh because I got a really strong sense that he did not want us to purchase any of these books and take them away with us. And like, he loved talking about the books, and he loved showing us the books.
But don't touch them.
Yes. So I'd be like, there were some on the shelf over here that I was looking at, and I was like, I'd like to see that one. And he's like, yeah, I can't really clear a path there, but I can get to it. So he went over there and like pulled down the book, and he's telling me about the author, and he's telling me about the book, and I'm like, oh, that sounds great. And I look at him like, yeah, I think I'll take this one. Oh, that's not for sale.
He really dictates the terms, hey? Like,
Yes. And there was another one that my mom found that she was interested in. And he was like, oh no, I'm not selling that one until I have time to repair the spine. See, it's a little loose.
what is this?
That's
What?
absolutely a collector who
Yeah.
He did not want us to take
That's
these books
100%
home.
what that is.
And
Yeah.
we did pick out a few books. I picked out a Let's see, what did I get? I grabbed a new copy of the Iliad because I felt like it's time to reread the Iliad. Nothing special, just a soft cover translation of the Iliad. And I picked up a first edition signed Hampton Sides. He's a historian.
Yes.
Yeah, I read his book Blood and Thunder several years ago. Really enjoyed it. This one that I purchased is about the Korean War.
Nice.
Oh,
And I picked up a
fascinating.
book about Cleopatra. That was looked like a good time. Can't go wrong with Egyptology.
Mhm.
And Mom picked out a couple, so we're paying for our books. And he gets us a bag to carry the books back in, and he puts like half the books in the bag and hands it to me.
Half the books.
And I'm like, the other books too?
What
And
is
he's
a
like,
little miser?
oh.
I love this guy. I love this guy.
I'm like, we already paid for them, sir. You have to let them go.
I feel like
he was adorable. This man, he was adorable. It was
I
so
know how
funny.
that feel. I know exactly. My local record shop was like that. I was like perusing through the 45s a while ago, and I pull out the Zeppelin record, and I go to pay for all this. He goes, "Oh, how'd that get in there? That's not for sale, mate." I'm like, "No!"
It was so funny. And we spent like 40 minutes in there probably, and had a great time chatting with him about authors and books and history and all this stuff.
Brilliant.
And then when we would try to purchase the book, he's like,
See, that's the problem. You got him all amped up about it and reminiscing. You should have been like, "Yeah, I'll take that one." He'll be like, "Here you go." You know.
it was the funniest thing. It was really funny. Yeah.
I wanted to tell you guys this. I forgot that I wanted to mention this. I was in Jim Thorpe this last weekend here in Pennsylvania. It's a beautiful mountain town. If you're ever out on the East Coast and you can get to Jim
Right.
Thorpe,
This was anniversary rerun.
Take two.
Yes,
Take
yes.
two,
This
yeah.
was yeah. And it was a fun time. The Airbnb didn't have any heat.
Oh,
That part sucked. And like we went, so the place we went for breakfast was in downtown Jim Thorpe, and it was totally locals only. Like I made Shalene, you would have been like, "Yeah, I'm at home here because I've known this vibe." But like there was one lady running the entire like waitress area, and like she was in charge. I mean, it's just the
I've
attitude.
been that
what's her,
lady.
what's her name?
And-
Flo.
I don't know her name, but like written on the wall after we sat down was cash only. So we're like, "Oh, we're having okay, we got cash," you know, because we didn't know if we had any
Mhm.
cash. And I'm looking at the menu thinking, I'm not going to change any of this. Like, I'm not going to custom order anything.
No,
Like,
no.
I did ask for no tomatoes on top of the thing because I figured that's an afterthought anyway, so that's okay. Besides, who puts chopped tomatoes on sausage gravy? I don't know. Anyway,
That's a weird choice.
it is a weird one. So I was like, no tomatoes and sausage gravy. So we get the, she's like scooping the coffee out of the Folgers tin for the, coffee, that kind of joint. So we order, and over behind me, I hear her go, "No, we don't have biscuits here, honey." And the guy was asking for like something with biscuits. I'm like, "Dude, stop! Just order what's on the menu." And so anyway, like we went to this antique store that's in this main strip, and I'm walking in there looking around, and I see this old gramophone Victrola. I like it's a 78 player, but it's not a Victrola because it's not made by Victrola. It's not a gramophone because it's newer than that. But it's made by this company called Universal out of Chicago in I guess the 20s, 30s. And so I started rambling to the guy about it and telling him that I cut records and that sort of thing. He's like, "Oh, it still works too." And he walks over and he winds up the crank and he picks up the needle and sets it down. And for those of you that don't know how these work, the record will vibrate the needle, and the needle vibrates a diaphragm, and that goes through a tube, and it's an acoustic chamber. So there's no electronics in this whatsoever. It's all acoustically amplified through this, and the body of it wasn't wood like Victrolas, it was metal.
Oh my god!
Right?
And you're like,
Oh, interesting.
So out plays this old jazz music through a 78 metal speaker, and it's like, and I'm like, dying, like, I want this. And Sarah's like, it's $500.
I would have been like, start the car. Start the car.
And what was really funny, he's like, this doesn't have a volume control unless you stick a sock in the tube, right? Stick a sock in it. And he's like, but this Victrola over here, and we walk over, and there was a Victrola for like $300. He's like, this one's volume, because again, it's analog echo chamber. He's like, or like an acoustic chamber. He's like, this one's controlled by the two doors in the front.
Yeah,
so the idea is if you want full volume, you open up the doors. If you want to turn it down, you close one of the doors.
That's great. That's really great.
So I ended up buying 2 Edison wax cylinders that were in rough shape, but I just bought them for novelty things. But I thought of you guys so much because it was very, and Sarah never heard one of these players before, and she's like, I can't believe all the movies and the video games where you hear this type of music.
That's what it is.
That's exactly what it sounds like coming out of the.
Yeah,
that is so cool.
It's brilliant.
I need to buy one.
Interestingly enough,
I really need to buy one.
So this gramophone here that I've got is a Bluetooth,
right?
But it actually sounds really quite good to a traditional gramophone. Like, it's got that very tinny, hollow sound to it, and jazz music or like ragtime just sounds so good on it. It's really nice.
Well, I'm never one to say that one like analog is better than digital or anything like that. That's not my jam. But when you listen to really old music that for the most part was recorded acoustically, I mean, the microphones
it just puts
back then
you in
were
that era.
Well,
right?
But microphones were electronic back then, but the actual lathes were actually mechanically driven by weights. And then when you listen to these discs back on stuff that has no electronics in it at all, it's definitely different.
Yeah.
It doesn't sound good by like fidelity standards, but it's like intimate, somewhat haunting in a way to hear things that are acoustically amplified versus like digitally or electronically amplified. It's hard to explain why it's so engaging. I mean, I think anyone would listen to it and engage with it, whether or not they like it or whatever. It's just more like, there's something to it that is just more.
Well, I mean, for
intimate.
me, I mean, I've had the same phenomenon. I've experienced the same thing where it's like, it's all mechanical, and like it's the record is the presence of the past, like, so when you're listening to that, it's like it puts you in that time with those people.
It in a way, yes, it definitely does. And it's definitely, it was one of the coolest experiences I had. And actually it was so fun, and I felt horrible for not being able to walk out with it because I wanted to, but yeah, so I just wanted to take us because I thought of you guys. It's cool.
I can't wait to go antiquing. I love antiquing. Anyways, we should probably finish out our podcast, which is about video games.
Right. Not antiques.
We do want to thank you guys for watching the show. Any of you have any plugs or announcements?
Nope.
So don't forget Hardware's Fleets for Kids. If you're interested in donating, you can head over to Tiltify and search Hardware's Fleets for Kids. Donations go to the St. Jude's Research Hospital for Kids. The show is sponsored by Oak & Crow Coffee. If you head on over to oakandcrow.com, you can pick up a bag of We Just Love Coffee blend. $2 from every bag goes to the Children's Miracle Network. Don't forget, you can email us at info@wejustlovegames.com. You can find us on Twitter at wejustlovegames, Shalene at Shalene L, myself at Vendertron N. We're also on Facebook, facebook.com/wejustlovegames, facebook.com/group/wejustlovegames. We're also on Discord. If you scroll down right below on our Twitch page, you can access the Discord link, which will bring you into our Chat After Dark community. And we record the show live every Friday at 6:30 p.m. Mountain Standard Time, 8:30 Eastern Standard Time, right here on twitch.tv/wejustlovegames. Don't forget, the show is recorded and posted for your ear holes on YouTube, iTunes, Stitcher, iHeartRadio, Spotify, and Apple Podcast platforms. Please like, subscribe, and review the show, and we will shout you out. Thank you all for listening. Do either of you have a last word?
Oh, that? Yeah, that's not for sale.
If I can go even care.